Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Monday the 14th of August 2017. So Friday, fairly quiet. You can see the market just made its way down. We've got a range of just 50 points, and then we had the news release later on in the afternoon. We had the pound moving lower. The first trade was a loser, as the market didn't move lower. It failed to move lower. This was at 2 p.m. and then we saw the market fill this and then bounce all the way back. Market then put in a buy signal and then allowed us to trade all the way back and actually recoup the losses on this trade as the market drove through the scalp there and then moved towards the upside. Now if you'd have trailed the stop, you wouldn't have picked all of the profits back, but you'll see from here to the high there was 49-point move on this trade. But if you trailed the stop up under the, take that out of that, trail the stop after, you would have been stopped out just there as the market comes up, and that's 29 points on that trade. So still down slightly on the losing trade here. In the daily chart, well, the market sideways, very sideways for the pound, still in the UK Parliament recess, not a lot going on to move the markets at the moment. Still waiting to see what Korea are going to do, how this is going to impact the US dollar. At the moment it's all rhetoric, and hopefully it will remain that way as well. News-wise today, absolutely nothing. No news today, nothing to report, and the market for the pound will remain sideways. Meanwhile, on the Dow, let's just have a look at Friday first. Again, we had a situation where it's very, very quiet. The market came down within 1 point of the scalp there. Let me just redo that. At 21,862, and then remained sideways until the market put in a potential buy signal at 19.15. But the market had been sideways for so long, I was actually missing in action at this point. I had to go down to Birmingham Airport to drop a relative off, emergency job, as no one else could do it, and market was very, very sideways, and then eventually moved back to the downside there. And of course, we're late on in the session with those two, so it came down sideways, and again you can see very, very tight range. I mean, this is 50 points, as you're well aware, and we've got a situation where we're only getting a few points in this range. Each of these grey lines is 12.5 points, so you can see how quiet it actually was. Now in the daily chart, we're seeing some interesting things here, and let me just get rid of this one, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove some of these lines because the market isn't moving lower at the moment. So I'm just going to take a few of these out, and I'll show you why I want to take a few of these out. Well, for clarity, of course. We can see the market came down to there, get rid of that, and we'll get rid of that as well. So now we've got a clearer picture of where the market's actually trading. I'm going to go back to markup and pick up the fib retracement, and I'm going to click on that down to the low, which is this one, and I'm just going to remove that one as well, and then I'm going to save it. So now what I'm looking for, we've got a situation where no news today, and Friday you see the volume is great, holding the market there, no doubts about it. Should the market move up to the 76% and fail, then we'll get the down move we're looking for. So what here, we've got a situation where the market's free to move higher. I'm just going to show you this in the daily, where we are on the overnight. Futures are up, and this is also had an effect on the overnight electronic Dow as well. So the futures market's up, and the obviously this reflected in the daily chart where you see prices moving up. So failure to close above 22,091 is going to be an interesting area, because the market is likely to find some weakness there. This is how we can actually again measure what the market's going to do. And also watch the volume. It'll be very low today as well, but the market should be able to make progress because there are no economic news items. Unless something comes out about Korea, then the market is free to move to the upside, unless something comes out that spooks it and moves it low. But you can see at the moment they're buying the market back and trying to move it back to the upside there. And in the implied volatility on Thursday we had 1096, and on Friday, just add the data label there, we had 1036. So you can see the market also responding in the correct relationship and way, with the Dow moving higher and the implied volatility there moving lower, which is perfectly normal there. I thought it may have dropped a bit more as the market was held, but we could see a drop off in this again if the Dow heads back towards the 76%. And as I keep saying in the market alert, they want this market higher, and sure enough, that's exactly what we're seeing once more. Being slightly spooked, but let's bring the market back. They just don't want this market down, and they're going to do the damnedest to make sure that it remains that way as well. Right, that'll do it for this one. Shouldn't be a lot to report today. It could be fairly quiet because there's not much news. Wednesday we've got the FOMC market minutes. Next month we've got the live meeting. In every live meeting so far they've always increased interest rates, so again that could be a non-event as well. Right, that's it for me. As ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.